Oh, it began. Oh, excuse. I didn't even know. Oh my God. Okay, I'm not starting it over. Do you know, my friend? Ever since I got, these things in my head, I have a few cats in my house, this lamb, and I have a tiger in my bedroom. And I sleep with them and I pretend. I just pretend somehow they're really real. And if I'm not good, they're going to see me not being good. You see those black eyes? Can you tell what's in there? Those are sad eyes, my friend. Look at those eyes. Sad, sad moment for the lamb. The U, the double U, the double Y. For since the beginning of time, everything is in code for everybody else to understand. The passage and the evolution of words and change is right before your eyes in the last 20 years of this online internet extravaganza with all kinds of WWs and I don't knows and what's the difference and all kinds of new places that you never saw before. It's discovery. We came here into this world as a correctional world. It's a correctional world of the discoveries of man. And he corrects himself. And he hypothesizes and he thinks and he knows. Well, what I'm going to get to right now, there's just so many things on my mind. Because I'm starting to find focal points now around the world, especially in Chicago and wherever Reading Railroad actually is. You see, it seems like part of the Monopoly game was built on the lines of the railroad going from Chicago over to Atlantic City. Um, but the thing is, in Monopoly, you see the first two properties, okay, are two properties that you can't actually go to if you're on Earth, but you can still rule them. You see, when you start off Monopoly and you throw the dice, you cannot. Yes, I'm repeating. You can't get Mediterranean with two dice. We're playing Monopoly with two dice now, okay? And Mediterranean's the first one. And I think I have it on here. I might disappear from the screen. I don't know. I'm looking for something I had up here, and I'm not sure where it is. Let's see, maybe it's down here. Yeah, here it is. It is. Okay. Now, I'm going to try to enlarge this for myself to explain to you. Okay. Let's see. Let's see where this is. I'm holding you up, right? Okay. So we start off on roll number one. You have the Mediterranean. We can't get it. You can get roll number two, which is community chest. Okay. So since you're now a member of the community, 1 and 1 on the dice, in this scenario, let's say 11, which means spirit, angel, and man. 4, 1, making 5 and 6 man. Or you go to Baltic Avenue, which is 1 and 2 on the dice. Okay? Now, what I believe Baltic Avenue is on 1 and 2 is 3. It means 1 spirit, okay, and the 2 beta, which means somebody's trying to make you as a child right now. They're getting together on Baltic Avenue, okay, or balsamic, however you want to call it, and they're going to make you in creation. And if you notice, Baltic and Mediterranean, the colors are so close to Boardwalk and Park Place because they are so close together, except one is with God and the other one is here on earth. One is the coming in. After the boardwalk, you come back to go and you start life again after boardwalk. And then Baltic is you're just coming into life. Anyways, the first property after that, okay, after Reading Railroad, excuse me, the first railroad is Reading Railroad. Now I'm going to check if you're still with me. How do I put this down to take a look? And all you guys have disappeared. Oh, and you're still here again. Okay, so how do I get this back for me? Okay, so the first railroad is Reading Railroad. And if my memory serves me right, I think there's a card that you can pick. It says go to Reading, pass go, collect 200. Okay, now the railroad, okay, is just like the boardwalk. Except on the boardwalk, you're walking in life. On the railroad, this is the passageway, okay, to heaven. You must take the railroad. It is the boardwalk. And the train is trying hard to go up the hill. But it's so hard. Choo, 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 choo. I'm not going to get into that. Anyways, the first line after that, okay, is the color of a very pale, what I'd say grayish blue, okay? And it says Oriental, Vermont, and Connecticut. If it says Oriental, and it's on the 6, okay, the 6th throw of the dice, starting the game is Oriental, right away it means the Chinese. They were the first angels into heaven. Why? Because OR of Oriental says gold. IEN says the birth in the E world, the neutralization of the 1 and 4 transfer of the angel into light. Oriental. So the Oriental is the first. But they're not living on Earth yet. You see, they have to take that backgammon dice, okay? They have to take that backgammon dice and they have to throw it. And they have to double up 2 to 4 to 8 to 16 to 32 to 64. Stop. God's dice is complete. But at the same time, God's rolling his dice to 64. Don't forget, you're playing with somebody else, especially in backgammon, so the dice goes up for both. The only difference is, okay, is God starts his double up at 1. 1 times 1. The first square of God in the 1 position only says 1. It doesn't double up. 1 times 1 is 1. And that's the first reason on the old telephone keypads, or on the ones you see, the push buttons at the shopping centers, all the ones show no designs, no marks, because it's the first dice cube of God. It's his corner. There are no letters in his corner. He created all the letters. So if there was any letters for him, okay, they would all be capitalized. Like the capital I between words, standing alone, the only vowel that does that. In fact, I think it's the only letter that does that. Because we can stand up between people. Do you know why? I don't know if you know this, but you see this? This is what our angel actually looks like. Okay? You put 2 arms on it, 2 legs and a head. The little point at the bottom is our tail. Okay? And that's what it is. So, where am I? Back to Monopoly here. Okay? So anyways, you get the Oriental Avenue. So anyways, like I said on the 64 dice, okay, beta dice starts at 2. So now there's 2 playing. First it was God, and it takes 25 years, okay, before, for each cube. So once he's elected as 1, he has to wait 25 years before he can become 2. So that means on God's dice, after 9 sections, okay, he passes 9 sections, 25 years each. It gives him 225 years, okay? But in the beta dice, she only starts off on the 2, because God started off his dice on the 1. So for the original dice, she has to start off on the 2. So her dice, okay, after the whole rotation, okay, yes, there's 6 sides, okay, but there's 9 positions on the telephone, okay, and all the combinations, 9 times 6 is 54, which is the word of love, 45, 54. Don't forget, 45, 45, and tennis make 90, okay? If you're in the middle of everything, the cross, because man is the cross, he's in the middle. If he goes 90, he's up in heaven, he's down in hell. Game over. You can't get 45 in tennis. It doesn't exist. Everything to do with 45, or 1125, or anything to do with that, 25, 1/4, everything belongs to the heavens. Everything belongs to the heavens. It's their creation. It's not mine. I don't know, you know, I got a little lost here getting into this. I'm getting off the basis of Monopoly. I do so many things. And I have a talk session with somebody for about 2 hours a day. And I'm a little bit slower. We transmit, we exchange, and I put them into order. Anyways, what I want to say now is listen to this, what's really funny. If you roll 85 on the dice, okay, 85 is the number of matrix, 85 is the number of spirit, 85 is the number of silver and the matrix, okay? You roll 85, where do you think you end up? You start at go. You end up back on reading again. We're reading the script. We're playing the role of man, Avatar 6. As Avatar 5, our spirit angel, is helping us. With the 10% of our brain, we get all the information we need from him, and the rest, we're on our own. So anyways, Yeah, so there's Oriental. I have to get through this. I haven't practiced it at all. There's Vermont, which would mean towards the mountains. There is Connecticut, which is the connection. So you have the connection in the mountains with the Oriental. That means the spirit angel. So the first part is you're in the heavens. The 1 and the 3 is creation. Mediterranean is spirit. Baltic is creation. Then you have Oriental 6, which is man. Then you have 8 heaven, which is Vermont, which means towards the mountains. It even says its name. 8, Vermont, towards the mountains. Isn't that right? Anybody French out there? Vermont, towards the mountains. The 8th one means heaven. Okay, I told you, I'm not wrong. The connection in the mountains to the Oriental, to the angels in the sky. Do you think all this is just a joke? This is so much fun. It's insane for me already, because it's way too real. Everything seems just to connect all the time. Sometimes I think I'm going nuts. What? It's too late? But I had nuts for supper. No, I'm saying, usually my videos end at 11 minutes, so I'm going to end this one on Monopoly, and I'm going to come right back to it. Right on number 85. Now try and figure out what else you can do at 85. 360 degrees around, 365 days a year, 366 days a year. You can enter it into Monopoly. You can enter it into the roulette wheel. You can just put a decimal point somewhere. Now you got 2 games, 2 people, 1 on each side. 0.001 to 1.00. And just to be up, before I get off, I was going through this little phase before, and I'm saying, you know what? It's cold out there in space, And then I said, it's warm, I says. So what's the compression like out there? I go, if it's so cold and it's so hot, I says, and matter is dark. And if matter is dark, wouldn't that mean it takes space, would make things like stick? And so that means when you see the heat, everything's melted up and it's like grinding out. It's like if the world was too cold, you wouldn't be able to go through it. Okay? So it's got to always adjust itself and just it's got to be turning always around in some fashion. Maybe that's how we're actually staying in where we are. It's just like an airplane. I mean, just remove everything out there. What's the plane going to, what's he going to, remove all the air. What's he going to do? Jump up and down? Oh, come on. This whole thing is planned. I want to know one thing. Has anything ever made it past or towards Jupiter? This is not the time. You see, before this tape ends, just let me tell you what my analysis on a Lenin is and the planetary alignment, which is so perfect. Venus, okay, is now on the opposite side, okay, of Mercury and not interfering with Mercury, the Sun, and Earth. Now that the planet, the comet, the Lenin is going to be passing in between, this planet is like a moon. You see, there are no moons on Mercury and Venus. The only passage they have is through the Sun. So because Venus and Mercury are actually one is the father, the other is the mother comportment of the laboratories of our Lord, okay? Now they compulse the energy through the Sun, okay, sucking it out of Mercury without going through Venus at all, which is the red spirit. It's an extra energy. It shoots over to the comet, and now I want to know what kind of moon we're going to have on that night. Because will it be a moon transfer or a direct injection right from the comet? What will happen in those 7 days? And they're upcoming right now. They say it's on the 29th of the month, if I'm correct. And I have been talking, just to get off that, Lenin, and I'm just saying, okay, there's got to be an injection because all the numbers fit. It's just very funny. It's hard to explain. I mean, if they fit for me. It doesn't mean that anybody's going to really understand. You have to take it from me that it's just the weird, the greatest. I mean, can I tell you something? If I'm sick, then I'm the happiest guy in the world. Because I see. I don't know, I can't explain what I see, but I just see that whatever they're saying, somehow it's going to be true. The Mayan calendar, all these counts, it just means something's coming. Maybe not a disaster, but just a weird awakening just for us.